Joining us right now, a man who's covered baseball enough and well enough, should I say, to be one of the legends as far as covering baseball. Richard Justice joins us right now on 104.5 The Team. Richard, the Houston Astros World Series champs, New York Yankees, able to steal a victory last night. How important was that game to both teams?
It's one brick in the wall, but what stands out is that the Astros have a bullpen problem and the Yankees have a great bullpen, and so now with Jordan Montgomery going on the DL, they have this kid, Domingo Germán, to step in, and he's been pretty good. I think the Yankees, one of the things we sometimes lose sight of with the Yankees is the depth of the farm system, and they do have pieces. And the other part is their bullpen during this 10-1 run has been phenomenal. I think it's a .74 ERA, and the big three, Betances and Chapman and Robertson, haven't allowed a run, but Green and Holder have been great too.
When you look at the situation going on with Giancarlo Stanton, you've watched baseball long enough. Is this the kind of slump you worry about, or is this something you just go, hey, once it gets nice out, he gets rolling, it'll be fine?
Well, I worried a couple of weeks ago when I saw the Rays and the Orioles just throwing him changeups, and he was getting himself out. And I worried, like, the mental part of it. When you change teams, there's going to be some pressure to reprove yourself. But I think Brian Cashman has said this: when you're not from the Northeast, and when you're coming into that environment where every game is a playoff game, and particularly where Giancarlo Stanton came from, it's a big adjustment. So I don't worry about the physical part of it. I don't worry about him having the skills that he's going to have a great career with the Yankees. The one thing I would worry about is he gets in such a mental tailspin this year. Can you get out of it? But I believe they have a great culture there. They have a great environment. Aaron Boone's a great manager to play for. So I guess my long term is I'm not worried about them. And but if the season ended today, Didi Gregorius is probably the American League MVP.
I've been saying that. Thank God somebody who's got actual respect in the industry agrees with me finally.
We'll go to one guy who's had a lot of success against the New York Yankees, and that's pitcher Justin Verlander. Why has Verlander been so good against the Bronx Bombers?
Well, he's been good. I mean, the guy's going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, so he's been good against everybody. And since he got to the Astros, and how have they changed him? They've changed some of these guys. He's mostly going hard stuff, but I think a big part of it's off the field. I think one of their celebrations last year, he said, this is the happiest bunch of people I've ever been around. He went from a veteran team that was losing to a youngish team that was winning, and I think everything is connected to every little thing. And I think also a big part of it is he's healthy again. I was with him a couple of times in spring training, and he walked off, and you thought, and his velocity was back to 91, and you're thinking, we haven't seen the best of Justin Verlander. It turns out we haven't. And I think that's one thing you can never. Sometimes it's hard to quantify the great ones. He's just different than others. So he's been really good against the Yankees. I don't think he's ever been better than he was last night, but he's been pretty darn good since the Astros got him.
Correspondent and columnist for MLB.com, Richard Justice, with us right now at Richard Justice on Twitter. Richard, when you look at this American League, are the Astros in fact the team to beat, or is a team like the Red Sox or the Indians or even the Yankees crept up and taken that title?
I think Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros are a coin flip. I mean, I think you could make an easy case for any of them. I want to see more of the Indians to sort of figure out where they are right now. But those three are really extraordinary teams. And then you get into the other teams. Toronto is pretty good. I think Tampa is interesting the way they've been playing lately. Seattle is a good team. Anaheim is a good team. The Twins are not what we thought they were.
You touched on the AL West teams there, Seattle and Anaheim. Are they going to be able to test Houston and maybe prevent Houston from having the best record in the American League at the end of the season?
Well, that's a good point. And so when you look at the American League East and you look at the American League West, you say, Cleveland might have the easiest path to the best record. Because the competition's a little tougher. I think that's possible. Does it matter at the end of the day? The Astros thought they were headed with a showdown with the Indians, who won 102. The Astros won 101, and it never happened. The Yankees got in the way. I just think it's easy to sit here now and know that in October, the Red Sox, Yankees, and Astros are going to be three of the five teams that are playing.
Richard Justice with us on 104.5 The Team. Richard, when you we were suffering from manager envy here in New York for a little bit with Alex Cora being so good and Callaway as a Yankee station, Mickey Callaway being so good. Has Aaron Boone, closed that gap now, or is this team just so talented? It doesn't matter who's running it.
No, I mean, I think all those guys that got hired, what they had in common to me was great people skills. Managers today are inundated with information. We're a data-driven age. But it's how do you take that information and communicate it to the players and get a good effort every night and understand you may be hitting first one night, seventh one night. What we're doing is the best interest of the team. And it's also the basics, managing the bullpen, dealing with the media and all of that stuff. And so I think all those guys to me are very similar. Gabe Kapler's a little more aggressive, but what you have in Mickey Callaway, in Alex Cora, in Aaron Boone, and who am I missing? I'm missing one other first-time manager. What you all have is that they're people skills. Their personality plays well over the course of a long season, and I think that's the template now. When A.J. Hinch got fired in Arizona, it was like, this guy will never work in this town again. And now he's the blueprint for whatever he wants. Great people skills, sense of humor, can manage a bullpen, can converse in the world of analytics, and that's what you're looking for now. The game has changed a little bit in that way.
And Mickey Callaway's people skills came into he was tested with this whole Matt Harvey situation. Is Harvey ever going to be able to turn this thing around, you think, or does he have to get out of New York?
No, I think this recent thing could be BS, but you can't keep getting your name in the news for the wrong reason. And I thought it would be interesting. Mickey Callaway has a proven track record of dealing with pitchers, and that's not just the X's and O's of pitching. That's the personality of it. And so I thought it might be a great marriage that he would be able to reach Matt Harvey in a way others had not. I guess that hasn't happened yet. And then the larger question and the unpleasant question is, who is Matt Harvey right now? Every pitcher has a decline in velocity. Every pitcher has to make the middle age adjustment. I'm older than you guys. I saw Tom Seaver make it better than anybody ever. Justin Verlander has made it. He doesn't throw 100 anymore. Could Matt do that? But that's a different skill set. And so far he hasn't done it. And I'm just thinking now, maybe a change of scenery would help. I don't know. But Matt's got to stay out of the news. Matt's got to go to the ballpark and then go home and just reestablish himself as a serious person and don't say, I'm a starter. No, you're whatever they say you are. They're not trying to screw you. They're looking for what's best for the New York Mets. They need you. They wanted you. You may be the difference between them making him missing the playoffs, but not the way you're throwing right now. And especially, it's almost like there's a defeated body language when you see him on the mound.
Richard Justice with us. Richard, we're a Yankee station. You said Verlander's a Hall of Famer. Is CeCe Sabathia a Hall of Famer?
Oh, no question. Oh, my God. No question about it. And there's no more, Atlanta is the most interesting team in baseball right now. They have the three youngest players. Two of them are at the top of the lineup. But you see the talent that the Yankees are running out there every day in Judge and Andujar and Sanchez and Torres, kids, and when Bird will come back. And it's a sea change for the way the Yankees operated. Hal Steinbrenner told a story a couple of years ago. They did a meet and greet for their players. I guess it was for season ticket holders before spring training or something. The player every fan wanted to meet was Greg Bird. And it told Hal that all the social media work we'd done on the scoreboard, et cetera, in promoting our young players, New York fans get it. They get it big time. And they're more patient with those guys. And they were excited about seeing players that are going to come here, and we're going to watch them grow, and it's going to be the next renaissance, the next rebirth of Bernie and Derek and all those guys. So yeah, I guess I don't even remember what the question was, but they're really good.
It's funny you bring that up though, because when I was a kid, there was a guy on every team. Like I remember, Tony Gwynn for the Padres, and even Carney Lansford at third for the A's. There was a guy on every team that the media said, "Hey, you got to see this guy when your team plays him." Are they finally getting back to that? Because I missed that.
Well, they're there now. I mean, my daughters are not huge baseball fans, but they wanted to go see Judge and in Stanton. And I said, well, right now the kid playing shortstop is the best player. They don't want to see him. But, that's one of the reasons their plan last offseason wasn't to go get Giancarlo Stanton. They didn't need more home runs. They didn't need more runs even. But they saw it as a chance. This is what good front offices do. They pivoted. They saw it as a chance to get better. And more than that, and we see this in Houston all the time, to get more interesting. It's one thing to win, but win when you have personalities and you have a certain vibe around the club, that's important too.
Man, I love it. I could pick your brain all day. Richard Justice, at Richard Justice on Twitter. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.